Hello, folks. Welcome back to Dino's Draft House for NFL Week 13 Power Rankings. Here we're going to do it from 14 to 1, which teams we think are probably going to go to the playoffs. So let's get into it. This week at number 14 on the list at all is the Falcons. Why are the Falcons on this list? Well, because they're winning their division, so currently they're in the playoff picture. They are not a very good team, and they should be ashamed of themselves. But they're going to stick at 14 for now. At number 13, we're going to have the Seahawks. Now, I was going to have the Vikings here, but you need to be able to beat the Bears if you're going to be able to stay on this list, especially if you're not leading your division. So, Vikings, you're out of here. Seahawks, you're on the list at number 13. At number 12, I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills. I wish I could be able to have you higher on this list, but I just can't. You just lost to the Broncos, Broncos that are on a very hot streak right now. You didn't lose to the Broncos. You lost to the Broncos before. Fuck. At number 12, I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills. You went toe-to-toe with the Eagles, but you didn't pull it out. 6 overtime losses in a row for you now. That's just disappointing, and I'm sorry. You did have an exciting game. It was really good. I do think you guys are mostly back, but it's getting a little later in the season now. You're going to have to make up those games if you're going to stay in it, but I think that you will be able to. So we're going to keep you at number 12, but you really do need to get more wins. If you lose again, you're going to have to be off the list again. But for now, we're keeping you at number 12, Buffalo. At number 11, we've got to have the Broncos. Who would have thunk it? 5 wins in a row and beating some good teams. It's just good job, Broncos. Good job, Broncos. You made yourself on the list, and you know what? I think you deserve it. Sean Payton's doing good things over there. Russell Wilson, let's ride. Let's go. All right. Number 11. Grab yourself a fresh subscription to TSST. At number 10, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it pains me to have to do this, but, well, it's late enough in the season, and you're strong enough in the playoff picture. It's just gross. It's just disgusting. I honestly don't even know how. You guys aren't even that good. You're not even that good. You did 421 yards worth of offense against the Bengals with 16 points. It's just disgusting. I mean, come on. We're struggling a bit. The Bengals' run game is bad, but you guys can score some points, you'd think. I have no idea how the Steelers are this high, but you know what? For the first time this season, I just have to put you in the top 10 at number 10. It hurts, but you earned it. At number 9, staying the same, we're going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They beat the Texans, a nice divisional team, a pretty good up-and-coming team, though the Texans do have their problems. The Jaguars beating them gave them the commanding lead in the division. And I think some of the woes that the Jags were feeling in the past couple weeks, I think they might just be gone. Live it up now while you can, Jaguars, because coming next year, your division's not going to be as wide open as you might think it is. So enjoy your spot. You're at number 9. At number 8, we've got the Browns. The cracks are starting to show in the team here, that's for sure. Defense is still doing good, but you had to put P.J. Walker in there. Thompson Robinson was doing pretty good for a while. Then he had to get taken out of the game. That was pretty disappointing overall, to be perfectly honest. And the decision-making once they put PJ in was lacking, to say the least. Pretty bad. 3 lost fumbles, and your running game should be a lot better. You expect more out of a Browns running game. Ford's been doing great. You got Hunt in there, which much like last year, you just don't use Hunt enough. You had Hunt, you didn't use him, you got rid of him, you needed him back, and you're still not using him. I don't understand it. He's a good running back, but anyways, yeah, I don't see you guys winning the division. I think the Ravens are going to get away with it, though I do think you're going to get the confident spot at second place in the North, and I do see you making playoffs, as I've been saying for a while. You're going to have it. Deshaun Watson's going to be a waste of money because I really think you're going to be able to get to the playoffs without him. So, yep, you're going to be at number 8. At number 7, down 4 spots, we get the Lions. I mean, gross. You had to lose to the frickin' Green Bay Packers, and like that, the worst decision-making ever. I mean, did you know that you don't have to go for it on 4th downs? And, you know, when you're in a field goal range, you can kick. And if you had just kicked those 2 field goals, at the end of the game might not have been such a desperation time because you would have had points. Uncharacteristically bad calling for the Lions this week. Just terrible. Maybe it's the moon. Maybe it's Thanksgiving. I don't know. All I know is the Lions sucked and you had to lose a bunch of spots. But you're still 8-3, so you're in the top 10 at number 7. At number 6, we're going to have the Cowboys in the same spot. And dang, you look good this week, though you were facing the potatoes. So not that hard of a team, but a divisional team. So, and you also get the Thanksgiving game every single year. So maybe we could stop with giving you that. But you know, there's 7 teams with 3 losses, so it's pretty tight up. So I guess you have to be up in this spot now, don't you? Yeah, I guess. Well, you get to be above the Lions because the Lions sucked so bad, but I just don't think you're as good as the other ones. Just half of the entire playoff picture right now has the exact same amount of losses. So you got to be up here somewhere, I suppose. Dolly Parton being in the halftime show and doing her thing does give you an extra point or 2, so maybe you need to go to the top 5. Though she did, out of every Queen song she could have done, did We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You, which Queen's a great band, but those songs just, ugh. So she loses points for that. I mean, she could have done Fat Bottom Girls. Imagine Dolly doing Fat Bottom Girls. Yep, sorry boys, you're stuck at 6. You're stuck at 6th. Dolly can't get you out of this one. Number 5, we're going to have the Dolphins, who just beat up the Jets for the first Black Friday game ever. It's just such a terrible game. Not for you, Dolphins. You guys did great. You did great, but it's the Jets, so yeah, you're going to be at number 5. 49ers, you're going to be at number 4, and you beat up the biggest competition you had as far as the playoffs go. You got the divisional win over the Seahawks. Though the Seahawks kind of look bad, they did have the division over you there for a week. Disgusting. And I'm glad that you took a long, hard look at yourselves and got your shit together, though. Made sure they're not going to do that. So you're second in the NFC for sure right now. The Eagles are the only team above you. I do think that we're going to see you in the championship game. We're definitely going to see you in the divisional round of the playoffs, so that's going to be good. You just need a little bit more consistency still. And you're still kind of seeing some weird things come through, so get that together. You're going to be fine for playoffs. I'm really not that worried about you. You're strongly at 4. Don't forget to tackle that like button. At number 3, we're going to have the Baltimore Ravens. Hard not to put them at number 2, especially because they do have one more win than the Chiefs do, but they haven't had their bye week yet, and they're going to be going into the bye week. A very good time for the Ravens team that, unlike other years, seems to have pretty much pulled it together injury-wise overall. I mean, couple injuries, but that's every team, I suppose. Last year, the injury bug got you bad. You're super strong. You might be the number 1 seed in the entire AFC, and I'm worried about it. You're winning the division, that's for sure. And, well, that's about that. The Browns or Steelers could technically still get you. That would be really weird, and I could see that happening. And wouldn't that be funny if the Browns got the divisional lead and you guys had the wild card in? God, that would make my day. That would make things so good for me. You did struggle against the Chargers, which sounds concerning. So you should be you should get your shit together in that way. And you had 4 turnovers, and yeah, you had 4 turnovers in your favor, and you didn't manage to get more than 4 scores. Though you did have a missed kick out of Tucker, which is uncharacteristic. I don't know. See, this is why I had to put you at 3. I couldn't put you at number 2 because Chargers suck, man. So, yeah, you're going to be at number 3, though. At number 2, we're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, technically the Ravens have more wins, but you have the same amount of losses. They haven't had their bye yet, so yeah, I think you're strongly at number 2. You're having your own trouble, too. This is the first time in several years that your defense is better than your offense, which is helping you hang in there, which is a fantastic thing. Keep leaning on that, and defenses do win a lot of games, but your offense does need a lot of work. Your run game has just been lacking lately. Past several weeks, you have to be able to get something going. You're just not going to be able to rely on only the pure pass and the athleticism of Mahomes forever. Kelsey seems to be a little slower than he used to be, which happens. Not even trying to be a ding on him or anything. It's just one of those things that happen. Once you get into playoffs, if you don't have that going, teams are going to notice it. They're going to be able to take advantage of you. Maybe you're saving it for it. Maybe it's a bunch of 3D poker or whatever they say. I don't know. And you're going to go into the playoffs and you're going to have a run game all of a sudden. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Chiefs, I think you're going to be able to keep the number 2 spot for now. But the Ravens are coming for your number 1 seed in the AFC. And at number 1, we're going to have the Eagles because they just keep winning. Faced the Buffalo Bills while they turned it back on. And they pulled out the win in overtime. They got the stop, took advantage of the fact that the Bills seem to power down a little bit when it gets to the OT time. And they snuck the win out there. Snuck the kick at the very end of the game. This is just a way the Bills have to be tired of losing by. But you pulled it through. You still have the most wins by a good margin. Eagles, you're at number 1. You've been at number 1 for a long time. You're sticking at number 1. Hopefully you can drop down a spot just to make this list more interesting soon. But, hey, you know what? While you're doing it, you're doing it. Number 1 for the Eagles. Well, folks, thanks for joining us again for another Week 13 NFL Power Ranking. Had to take last week off because of the holiday, but we are back again. And we're going to keep on doing these. So thanks for joining us. You have yourself a good rest of your evening.